I want to tell you guys about the Keat.io app. It's a messaging app, which is plenty of messaging apps already out there. WhatsApp, Telegram, iMessage, so many things. But what's different about this app is it doesn't use any server. I know for the non-geeky people, they're like, oh, okay, what does that mean? The meaning is every single message that you send does not go to any other device except who you're sending it to. But on WhatsApp and on Telegram and things that use a server, when I send you a message, it's actually serving that message to a server. That server is going to save it. It may be encrypted to the server, which means from here to the server, nobody can read it. But whoever's at the server can unlock your message and read it. Meanwhile, this app is serverless and it functions fully good, and they're continuing to update the interface and make it look better. But I highly recommend you try it. It's called Keat.io. You don't need any phone number or email address to sign up. You just make a username and you can sync your devices, your phone, your laptop, your computer, Android, iOS, available on all devices with no server. End-to-end encrypted, and it's good for privacy. And I believe it's going to be the future of programs, honestly. The details for the geeky people is that because this is a serverless, they have some workarounds for the notifications. For example, on Android, they do like some kind of workaround to get notifications to you, push notifications. And it's also on iOS, they have some workarounds, but you do get notifications on time, and it's all peer-to-peer. So it uses basically similar technology, one similar technology from torrenting, which is called a distributed hash table. So you're able to connect to peers, which is anybody else, any peer, directly, and you can have multiple peers you're connected to. You can have group chats, you can have broadcasts, and it's really amazing. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below about the topic. They had like a 1 hour presentation about the entire called Pear Stack, like pear, like the fruit, the Pear Stack, how you could use it, what it's about, how it works, etc. I watched the whole thing, and I actually watched it like 1.5 times because I had to go back and watch it again because I was so impressed. So the reason this is going to be so much better is now you don't need to worry about having server infrastructure costs. You don't need to pay to have a hosted server. You don't need to worry about bandwidth limitations because everyone is like a net mesh together, and it works on all platforms, which is amazing. There is another company that is working on something similar. It's called the Freenet, and it's made by the FUTO organization. They make a keyboard for Android. They also made, I think they bought Image, which is a self-hosted platform for photos and management like that you can self-host. It's like Google Photos, but self-hosted. It's a very wonderful program. But the Freenet is also serverless. So it's peer-to-peer, and it runs on web contracts and things like that. This one is a technology that uses like NPM and things like that. I'm not entirely sure. It uses like JavaScript and React and Electron. So you have like basically the front end, and you also have the back end, and the front end basically talks to the back end, which is your serverless component. Currently, a lot of the major issues that we have on social media, online, things like that, is censorship. People are getting censored. When you start to talk about things that a company or a specific group of people who have power, and they're able to influence that company to censor you or censor anything about that topic, it's a limitation of information. I'm not entirely sure why the internet was created to begin with, but now we have the internet. A lot of people have the internet. We're all able to communicate freely and openly, but we're limited because these people are allowing us to do this communication on their servers, on their platforms, which they pay for. They have to pay for the infrastructure. They have to pay for these huge computers and servers, the data storage and network bandwidth. They have to pay for all that. So who's paying for that? If they're allowing you to use this product for free, you are the product. Because when they have your information, they're able to serve you ads. When they're able to serve you ads, then companies will pay to say, I want to target these people, I want to give them ads so they can buy my product, and we can serve those ads to you because we have data all about you. We know all about you, know what you like, you know what time you're on, where you leave, this and that, because you consent to giving them this data. So that is basically like a little history of Web 2.0. Web 2.0 is when we're starting to upload and download things to the internet and basically become producers and consumers of the media. For example, you can post to social media anything you want. Facebook, you can host a video, a photo, whatever, but it's all hosted at the cost of Facebook. Facebook is hosting that for you at cost for them, hoping that they'll be able to sell companies ads to serve to you, to serve them ads, so that way they can make their money back. Web 3.0 is, hey, everybody has phones, everybody has computers at home. Well, not everybody in the world, but a lot of people have it. They have extra computers, they have extra stuff. So why should I do everything based on selling my data? So I want to take control of my data, take control of my privacy, and I want to be able to communicate to whoever I want freely without being stalked and harassed and watched online. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, it's the fact that, you talk about something and then you start getting ads for it. You see something online somewhere and then you start getting ads for it. You're constantly being stalked and watched. So it's not about whether you're doing something wrong or right. It's that you have a privacy in your home and you have privacy online. So we need to have privacy in all those different aspects. With decentralization, which is peer-to-peer technology, which means there's no central server, it does take a little different shift in mindset on how developers and programmers write their programs, because it's not all hosted by a single source of truth, which means whatever the server has is whatever is the truth. Now anybody can upload and download things depending on what kind of app you're making. Let's say it's a social media app, which I want to make one day. Basically, I want to make like a Twitter kind of clone, somewhere where you could write text, post photos, and some videos. We already have something like that called Mastodon, which is federated. So I can have a server and it can communicate with your server, and anyone who makes a server can communicate with other servers as long as you allow it to do so. That is good, but it still relies on servers. So it's like a decentralized servers. That's how it works. But the decentralization entirely is going to be peer-to-peer. So every single phone, every single device, whoever's using this Twitter clone is basically going to be a contributor and a producer. If you produce anything, like if you write posts or not, that's what it's going to be for. Or you could even have your own computer host your content. So let's say you don't want your phone to be online all the time to serve this content or whatever it may be, whether your text posts or things like that, then you can have your computer host your content. The exact details on where the data is stored and how it's being sent is something that needs to be massaged out and figured out exactly. But what's cool about it is the algorithm. The algorithm is based on like some kind of like trust propagation and something like that, and distrust propagation or something like that. Basically, if I subscribe to you, the viewer, I'll be able to see whatever post you made. So if you made a post, "Hi, today's my birthday," I'll be able to see that because I subscribe to you, I trust you, so I see all your posts on my feed. Now, let's say your friend subscribes to you. I will have a slightly lower ranking with him. What does that mean? So let's say you're ranked 100%. I 100% trust you, and maybe I trust them like 80. That's how much I trust them because you trust them. So that's how it works, and it can go up to 1, 2, or 3 different, as many levels as you want, like down, like how many friends of friends are you gonna be able to trust. So you may be recommended some of their posts, but let's say one of your friends, he keeps posting about things that I don't like. So I put untrust on him. I will never see any of his posts again because, or very little maybe if you said it that way. So I will see either 0 or very little or completely not see any of his posts at all. But that doesn't affect anyone else's algorithms because it's only affecting your own algorithm. So your algorithm is based on what you like and don't like and who you trust and who you don't trust. So everyone's algorithm is going to be unique, and it's not going to be organized by a central server with a central agenda trying to serve ads and market and sell and influence you on a specific ideas, because you only follow whoever it is that you want to see. If you like the ideas that I'm posting, if you like what the things I'm talking about and you want to continue to see it, you can subscribe to me and you can see what I have posted. But you're not going to get a random video trying to convince you that decentralization is so bad because the central server or someone who owns a bunch of servers, it's their profitability to have these central servers and like, oh no, decentralization is very bad and we need to keep you protected and keep your children safe and all of these X and Y, Z things because it's in their benefits and their profit. You're not going to get served that on your own because you subscribe to whatever it is that you want to see.